Chaos mode.
There it is. That's the open I need. Hey guys, welcome to number 10. We made it this far. I don't even know what to say. I started it a year ago. And what's really crazy is I had no idea where this was going to go. I knew I wanted to give to the internets whatever knowledge that could be shared, and more so all the people I know and the great contacts, because a lot of times I feel that I'm a facilitator trying to bring people together and make things happen. And this became something where I was like, hey, let me, there's so much content out there, and most of it's, how do I say it? It's very structured. The narrative's already been controlled. I wanted something super organic, something just literally whatever you're feeling, just say that shit. And that's when this started. And then obviously I need to get a team together. And because it's a lot harder than it looks to edit these and get them done and post and try and get it going. And I haven't even shared on my own Instagram yet. And here's number 10. So, because I wanted to see where it would go for the first few months, and that's where we're at. We got, I think we got 100,000 views, and we're getting, so nice. It's just organically, that's what I wanted to see. Like are you guys going to watch this and find something interesting? Because, everybody else finds themselves really interesting. And boy knows sometimes I like to talk. So I was like, is this just an ego pulpit thing for me to like talk about in the industry, or people actually want to watch this shit or whatever I'm throwing together? And that's when I start, I think it's finding a footing, and with the footing it's finding, somebody has not.
That's a lyric.
It's my first drink. So
He's freestyling.
I couldn't say that at the end of it exactly. Anyway, so why I'm saying that is this podcast specifically is what I wanted today. Why? I've known you for years. I have mad respect for you and your talent. And we're going to get into that. And then the gentleman to my right, your left, I had just recently met through someone who's been working here, who's amazing, Palermo, who is not here today, or half the team. And because we've all been working really hard this week, so we took a Thursday off. And we've been trying to connect, and it's just crazy. And you're going back to LA, and we're going to cover all that. And when she said, I have a really good friend who does music and produces and is really getting behind bands. And I myself, for those that don't know, I took Luke Records public, which is a pretty big deal. I've been in and out of the music. I myself, you don't want me making music. I'm the video guy, right? Making movies and all that stuff. But I have mad respect for that art, and it's been in my family for years. And that being said, so when I see somebody who's got a lot of talent, I'm always like, wait, how can I help you? Because music is such a saturated business. I believe I know I'm quoting something wrong, but it's some staggering number that 60,000 songs are launched or released into the wild every day.
Yeah, I saw something like that. It was like a crazy
it's
number.
Something you're like 60, like, so that's not making them.
Yeah.
That's like produce, clean, like 60,000 every day are set free into the wild. And you're like, how do you even
how do you find it?
How do you that's just like, you have to do it for the love. And that's why I think a lot of people go into music and they wane, there's so much more to it. And that's without me getting into my whole spiel of what taste is, right? Like, is McDonald's the best food, or it's the most pervasive, so to speak? And the same thing with music. Is pop really good music, or is just like what defines an art? Like, you'll see movies and people are like, it's horrible, and I'm like, no, it's an incredible movie. It's just you didn't understand. So it's kind of, in my time, I think they're still in business, Baskin and Robbins, right? There was, I think there was like 39 flavors and more growing, and that's everybody's got a different flavor. Everybody likes something different, whether it's music or whatever. So instead of bashing and all that sort of stuff, it's like lean in and understand where they're coming from and that artistic side. And so when I see something that I like, that my taste is, and I have big fan of yours, that, and then some, and Andres here, who I met and I started seeing what he was doing here in the studio, and I'm like, yeah, how can I? I'm like, and at the end of the day, he's a really good dude, and so I think there's a lot of people in music that have a really good soul and a really good heart and giving people, and those are the ones that kind of never. And I'm not gonna say you guys are gonna make it, but I'm just saying those. I think it's the hardest road because music is so cutthroat. It's the opposite of when you're sharing your gift. Is that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
so that's where, so that's kind of a very long open for how I have the two of you. This is about music, but it's so much more. It's about TikTok. It's about charity work. It's about getting tired of making your own music, composing for others, and then doing and getting young artists together at the beginning and helping them have fun, make that happen. And there's a common thread there. So I want to talk about all that shit and then more. And I'm going to have some whiskey, and the dog's eating.
Cheers.
Now he's eating the wall. He's eating the grass. So it's fake. It's fake grass. So that's it. So I want to toast you guys and say thank you, because that's what I mean. This podcast, that's what this is for. A pulpit to just sit and talk, and if people watch it, if we get 10 people to watch and you motivate somebody, or it's a lot more, that's awesome, because that's what I think we need more of, positive message, what you're doing, and you both are really out there on the grind, and I know that. So I'm saying cheers to you, buddy. It's a pleasure to have this forum, and this makes me feel good. So there's the one watch that we get, the one person who subscribes, and
the 10 million.
Oh, get the squeaky.
10 mil, we're gonna hit it.
10 mil.
I'm calling it.
10 mil. Max shaves his head.
There it goes.
I will save it. But I'll leave it like a little bit, and then I'll dye it blue,
Oh,
and I'll write.
it'll match with the hoodie.
on the back.
Yeah. Speaking of hoodies, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah, hoodies.
I put this on,
Yeah.
and Jade and Luke back there like, Dad's wearing a hoodie.
It is.
I know,
First
change
time.
it up. I know. I kind of like it. I think it looks good on me. I feel a little gangster.
You can have this if you want it. If you like it.
Oh, whoa! You got to
And it's blue.
autograph it. You got to autograph it. So I know who's it. Oh, my apologies. Wow, that is a long message I just got. Oh my God, we're gonna read that way later. We're gonna also put my phone on mute. Sorry,
Yeah, my
everybody.
phone's been buzzing.
Yeah, we're gonna mute this, and then my phone's on the cart, so they can. See, I gave
what
Luke
the
has
fuck,
way
bro?
too much power there. It's the 10th episode. Oh no, you got to go.
You gotta go crazy with it.
He needs a microphone.
Bruh,
He needs a microphone.
I didn't even think about it. Well, you got a multi-camera, and we have more mics. That's a great idea. We're putting, yeah. That's great. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, because half the
It's
funny.
evolving.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
say,
know, it's
everybody,
evolving.
we're doing
I
this,
know.
and behind there's
I know.
some of the funniest shit
You
that
gotta
goes
shut
on.
them out.
Yeah.
You know, something you touched on just now about like music industry, and I'll let you keep going, but I just have
No, I'm done. I wanted to get into your backstory.
Okay.
So why don't you start with your backstory? Like, just because I could go on, I know a lot of it, and I know a fair amount of yours, but I'd rather you share with. Okay, this is great. You guys really don't know each other, so why don't you give
fair
us the
enough.
backstory, and share with each other, so then we can kind of start shaping things, because I know you're going to have there's a lot of crossover here.
For sure. Okay, so I'm originally from Hawaii, grew up there and everything. Hawaii is a very beautiful place in terms of just everything, the nature, the community, the people, the spirit of the place. And I grew up doing music, and that's always been my outlet. Wow, this mic is insane.
It's amazing, right?
Crazy.
Doesn't
It's like, I sound like that? What?
yeah, you're like, wow. I sing all the time, but I never really hear it like this.
Yeah, this is crazy. But I moved to, long story short, I moved to LA in 2018 to pursue my music passion.
Straight from Hawaii.
Yeah,
like
straight from
to
Hawaii.
LA.
And there was like a lot of people offering me things and, encouraging me to move there. And so as soon as I got there, I already had all these meetings lined up with some pretty big labels, and they had offered me deals of upward $3 million plus without anything released yet or anything like that, because I had such a big catalog of unreleased stuff. But the terms were really bad, and the little fine print in the contract was really shady, and it was all like 360 deal type stuff, which
Yeah.
You know-
it takes, all your image and everything.
yeah. And 2018, 2019 was kind of like the dawn of just music discovery on social media. Musically was popping off, and people were not as, people weren't listening to the radio anymore, or like anything mainstream media wasn't, I could see that it wasn't going to last much longer in terms of its power to break new artists and new music. So I asked them about that, and they were like, oh, don't worry, we'll buy you like a couple 100,000 fake followers and start, doing, and I was like, that's your strategy? Like, really, for social media? And they're like, yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's not important. We have radio, we have, tours, we have all this other stuff. And I just kind of saw like the old school mentality about it, and had some other friends who had signed some deals and then got shelved because, when you sign a deal.
Oh yeah, that's just the beginning. People think that's a great one. So give everybody who's watching this from the music side, like, hey, I want to get into it because I'm gonna have you go deep in a minute, which is explain a 360 deal from your sides, and then give me that getting signed is just the first part of it. Then you got to actually do it. It's like it's like in the investment community. I have a previous life in investment in banking and that, and it's like I'd always tell everybody, they're like, I got to go raise $1 million. I got to raise, and then when you you do, and then you get that money. That's when the real work starts. Yeah. So you spend all this time trying to get that goal to start the business, which is then 10 times there's multiple levels of growing and being and it's because I think people hear like, wow, you got signed for, or you could get signed for 3 million, and you're like, everybody's probably going, what an idiot, and you're like, no,
that's the thing. You have to give that money back. You have to recoup it. There's sort of like it has to work. Yeah.
Well, first of all, half of it goes to taxes, and then, then you have to maintain this perception of living this certain lifestyle, and so you spend all of it on a car and jewelry and renting houses and crazy stuff, and then before you know it, you've blew through $500,000 a year, and then all your friends that are not really your friends are trying to use you for stuff, and so you start buying stuff for people and flying girls out, and then now you're down to like another 200,000 left, and you haven't made any money, and now you owe your life to the label for 10 years, and they're not letting you release anything you want unless it's under their conditions. So
yeah, goodbye.
That happens to a lot of people.
Highly accurate.
Happens to a lot of people.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, man, my perception of that, it's like art, music in general is such a pure thing at its core. It's like celebrating being alive and being a person, it's taking pain and struggle and creating your own justice on a canvas or in a song. It's almost like all the things, at least for me, all the things that are wrong with the world that you can't immediately fix with a snap of a finger, maybe I can fix it in this song at least and feel some type of peace. And then if somebody hears that, they might feel some type of peace and be inspired to live differently. That's how I, look at music and art for myself.
And how do you think record labels take that into consideration?
They don't give a shit. They just care if you're getting views and plays and money, because to that, you have to think, because I'm a business owner now, so I own multiple businesses. So when I go into a conversation with someone who wants to collaborate or something like that, I view it as, is this going to build my business or destroy my business? Is this going to be a money pit? Am I going to lose money? Am I going to make money? Of course, like, I try to lead with my heart, and if somebody's doing something great, I want to like help out or contribute, then I'm going to be more like compassionate towards that and like more likely to take a risk. But for the most part, I can't take a risk on something, even no matter how great it is, that's going to bankrupt me, right? So in the same sense, like, these businesses they don't give a shit. They're where they are because they control everything. They control the narratives, and they're being paid by all the biggest powers in the world to keep pushing those same narratives, and everything is, monitored and censored and like directed towards a certain way, because consumerism is what keeps our economy flowing for those who are benefiting from. I mean, I benefit from it, so I can't really. we all do, but yeah. I mean, in a sense, like, the music industry, and it's unfortunate because living in LA, my experience has been there are so many unsuccessful, people who they had one hit or they had a few good runs with an artist, and they started a label, and they live off that for years, and they keep talking about, I made this one, whatever, and then they become, out of touch. Or sometimes it's not even just about being out of touch. You could have all the resources in the world. If you don't make good music, or if you sign somebody who sucks, I don't care how much money you put behind it, if people don't resonate with it, it's not going to go anywhere. And so these people, like, they try and try and try, and then they get burnt out. And then now they have this perception that because they got a Grammy or whatever, or a few Grammys, they have to like maintain this look and they want to be cool. And, so they meet with like a younger version of me when I just moved to LA, and they're like, yeah, come under my wing. I'm going to give you the world. I'm going to turn you into Justin Bieber. Like tomorrow I can call Justin Bieber right now. Like he'll, collab with you, like, straight up. Like that's what, these guys say, like, and then you find out, you spend a little more time with them, and you start to just see the reality of how some of them are even living themselves. Financially, it's not that great. And so it's like, when you start to see that, it's like, how are you going to really do that if you're struggling yourself? And then you look at the contract, and it's all just,
it's laid out there.
There's so many provisions that basically say, if you think about what a record label is, it's a conglomerate of many people with multiple departments whose job is to find stuff that it used to be to take something that had potential and make the world see it and make it amazing, make it better. Now it's become find something that's already amazing and colonize it. Come take it for everything that it is, give them as little as possible, and exploit it to the furthest extent as possible, and take all the soul out of it.
Right, just
And do you
squeeze
think
the
that's
Sorry,
happening?
this is cut
Do you
dark,
think that's
but-
happening right now with because you came from social media,
Yeah.
right? So all the music that is coming in right now. All these artists, they almost don't need the record label. They have their own following.
Yeah.
So how is that affecting the record labels?
So that brings me to the next part of my story. So I said no to all these big, deals. And then, I was kind of broke, honestly, but I was like, I'd rather be broke and have my freedom. So I was living in LA. A lot of people in my circle were getting really famous on Musical.ly before it was TikTok, just for doing these lip syncs to these random songs that nobody had ever heard of before. They weren't like big label push songs. They were just like independent artists, mostly like hood rappers, honestly, that were just like all blowing up because the contrast of like a pretty white girl lip syncing like a super ratchet hood song was just so shocking to people that it would go viral over and over and over and over again. And I saw that business opportunity. I was like, huh. So I reached out to all of them and put them all in a group chat and said, we're going to make some money together. Made a spreadsheet of all, I'm giving away the sauce right now, but it's fine.
I've seen all
You're
this.
giving
I can
away the
validate it all.
sauce.
Yeah, you don't have to give it all away. Save a few little
no,
Yeah.
chill.
Anyway, I turned it into a business, and then I went back to the labels who offered me deals originally. I said, hey, you remember when you wanted me to get fake followers? I figured out the real way to break new music on social media. And in fact, this is the way that new music is going to break, whether you like it or not. So if you don't jump on this bandwagon, you're going to become irrelevant.
Yeah.
And I was like, that'll be $30,000 if you'd like to participate. And first one said yes.
And they're $30,000 per project.
To market. I mean, these labels have huge marketing
Per-
budgets. That's
per
like
what?
nothing.
Per post.
No.
No.
So
Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So the 30K was like that was our first deal, was to pay TikTokers to lip sync to one song. So yeah, so it's all these kids who had never gotten
Okay.
paid for anything in their life before, and I was like, here, I got $2,000 for you if you make this 15-second video. And they were like,
Mm-hmm.
what? And then
And now why TikTok's in the music
and I was like,
business.
here, Venmo, boom.
No
They were like,
shit.
I watched it.
you just sent me $2,000.
In,
like,
in
yeah.
this project, the song that you sent to them was coming from which artist?
I signed an NDA.
Okay,
But a lot of different artists.
So it's
Signed a lot
different,
of NDAs.
different artists.
He
yeah.
signed an NDA, and I'll say it this way to everybody: what you don't know is that the artist that looks independent was signed, and some company, he's dying. Some company gave a $50,000 check to someone sitting at this table, not you and me, and that person then went and found 10 different people and gave them 5,000 minus whatever,
Yeah.
and gave all those 10 people who all had millions of TikTok followers and said, use this audio track, credit it here. And then all of a sudden you heard it hit the radio a few weeks later because it became the next viral sound.
Yep.
and he's the one that did it, and I witnessed and I've seen the numbers. So
And
anybody else, you can comment below. But that's when I went, dude, you're really smart. You're not just a super
Yeah, of
talented
course, of
musician,
course.
but you knew business. And obviously it's been shifting now. TikTok's trying to get in the music, the whole world. Listen, one of the things we'll talk about is how much the world's changed from. I was talking to somebody the other day. I'm like, my generation, you just look at tapes and CDs, and then it became streaming, and then music stores went out of business. And the same thing with the movie. I'm in the movie space, right? Nobody, even the streaming guys, are trying to figure out what to do. Like everything is changing so much all the time now. Like I'm not talking like, like before we used to talk, in 10 years from now. Now it's like 10 months from now. Now it's 6 months from now. What the frick's going to happen? It's moving that fast where it's like, literally, how do I make money with this? Oh, it's too late. You missed it. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's that fast. So it's like, as much as he could share that, we can tell you this. That was right at the height. That was like 2 years ago. And now all of a sudden here it is 2 years later. It feels like yesterday we were sitting in there. And I'm like going, so now if you try to do that, market start. There's probably 10 other. It's so anyway. Go ahead. But
I just got hit up last night by a label to do another campaign. Yeah, so it's evolved for sure.
And you're doing the campaign, like you're not really involved in the music process in this
scenario. Yeah.
So it's more of
it's
like
the
connecting.
song's done. The manager or the label or sometimes the artists themselves hit me up, and they're like, "We have a song. Can you make it go viral?" I'm like, yes, I can. That just depends on how much money you have. Depends on how viral it's gonna go.
So obviously we're not mentioning any artists, but in your personal opinion, because we're talking about music being a beautiful thing, a personal thing. Were these songs worth it?
Some yes,
Even when
and here's the thing, like. Well, no, okay.
I know some of the artists and people, and he really pulled some. Okay, go ahead.
Well, okay. As an artist myself, I have respect for anybody who puts themselves out there and makes music.
True.
There's
true.
there's
very
no.
good. No, that's very true.
And some songs that like you might listen to that come out now that you might listen to like 20 years ago, people would laugh and be like, "What the frick is this? Like, how is this?" Music. This is not music.
Top hit.
To me, music is about, because I listen to all types of stuff. I listen to like the most ignorant possible stuff sometimes on purpose because I just want to get just want to feel like violent, And then other times I'm like, I want to listen to like only conscious, uplifting stuff. And then other times, so like everything has I feel like music represents emotions and like
emotions.
our inner lives, and so there's no good or bad in my opinion. It's just like authentic or not.
It's the flavor. Well, bring it back to what we were saying. Yeah, no, and go and it's funny because what you just said is, I think it's like domain expertise is, a lot of times I now at this age of 25, you're sick, I'm 25. At this age, I bring a lot of experience of like, don't do that. So a lot of times I get pulled on to movie sets and different projects because they're just like, bring Vic because he can I mean, like, you don't want to do that, right? And it's like, so the same thing with the labels will contact him because he has grown up music. I mean, he's worked with some big names, like, and even some that I've been fortunate enough to say, hey, Max, you really should talk to whoever, Gaga's manager. And we sat there and he blew him away. But whatever came out of that, well, there is deals that get squishy. So as much as you may be a great artist and you may make, like we're talking about what makes good, right? What makes it all the way through? There's so many things that have to hit. So at a certain point, it may hit, it may not hit because of something completely out of your own control, right? And look at the movie industry right now. There's incredible movies and they're shelving them and they're scrapping them and pushing them at 20, 25, blah, blah, blah. Some people are just pushing them. Anyway, you just get it out there, like this podcast. And that's where I look at like Max, where it's super talented artist. And he's like, hey, I can leverage this as well and build a business and help other artists who some need some help, some need a lot of help. Yeah. And he did, and I was blown away. I was like, wow, you can make some, you can really, so I think as much as I speak about this because he's a friend, as much as there was the side of, hey, I can build a business around this, I think there was also, hey, I can actually also do music and collab with these people and help. Yeah. So, and I saw that, and he put his passion. I I saw some very sleepless nights that you wrestled with and some emotional shit you went through.
Yeah.
And I mad respect because you only do that when you care. If it's a transactional deal and you don't give a shit about it, you're like, oh, whatever, I lost money on that, I made money. It's just zero sum game. It's what's going on with the actors strike right now and all that and the labels, and like you have the business people and they don't care about how good the movie is.
Yeah.
They don't even care. They just want to. Literally, it's like 400 bottles. They don't care. It's just, are you buying that bottle? Or you're not buying that bottle. They don't really care about what people are consuming. They're just, I call them the bean counters. You know what I mean? That's the old expression, but it's really they're just there to look at the numbers. They're not trying to make a good movie. That's why they're trying to use AI. They're like, how can we make more movies cheaper? Right? That's what it's just saturate as opposed to make quality.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happens. You get in the business side of it, and it really is a different thing than when you truly are a creator and you feel something. You want to make something really emotional and passionate. And people see it. I don't know. The world, like I said, things change. But anyway, I'm going to go back. I'm sorry I took us on that segue, but I just wanted to interweave that. So that's when I saw what Max was doing from that aspect of the music side. So continue more about how you built that marketing angle from social media with these and collab with them.
Yeah.
So go share that if you don't mind.
For sure. So then a bunch of people started hitting me up. Oh my God, can you make my son $2,000 per TikTok? Can you, can you make my kid famous?
Yeah.
And I'll pay you to like have them collaborate with other TikTokers.
But
And
wait,
then
how do they know this was happening?
word of mouth. I
Mm-hmm.
never promoted ever. I never had
No
to.
way.
It spreads that fast in LA.
Hey, if you say to someone, "I'll give you $2,000 to make a 15-second video," it's pretty.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
gonna be like,
It's pretty crazy.
"Guess
And
what
then
this
like,
dude did."
and then if you're an artist and your song blows up and goes mega viral, and you make multiple millions of dollars and go on tour and build an entire career off it.
Somebody's gonna be like, "How did that
they-
happen?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the brand, a
people were
lot of
just-
these songs you've heard and all that stuff came.
Yeah.
I know he.
I can't say
he
what they
launched-
are.
No,
but
he's launched
just
a
think
lot
of
of
all the biggest artists right now who blew up back then.
with
And
on
there's a
TikTok,
few.
and that was This
So-
is where it started. I knew that would blow your mind. That's why. I'm
No,
like,
that's huge.
Yeah,
That's huge.
Because he's
That's
out there going,
huge.
and I'm like, I know a buddy, but the problem is the model's changing right now. I
And
know.
no, it's funny because my brother was texting me like, I don't know if it was you, but he was like, "Yo, some people are like texting me right now to like sing about a song or something." And I'm like, "No way!" Like people are starting to do that now. Like they're paying you to like sing
yeah.
somebody else's song.
Yeah.
And this was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So everybody started to like know you because word of mouth.
Yeah.
And what were they saying?
Well, pretty much all the creators who I was,
Uh-huh.
they asked me to become their manager, and at the time,
No.
at the time, I hated managers.
Yeah. of
Hated
course.
managers. I had
course.
so many shitty experiences with managers in LA. I was just like, no, please, God, no, I do not want to be a manager. And then they started, okay, fine, but like you're gonna keep giving me deals and stuff. And I was like, yeah, of course. So it just kept being like deal flow,
Yeah.
But then all these other people started to see what was going on and started replicating, copying what I was doing and forming their own, had more experience and whatever, rich
Did it
uncles.
go well for
and-
them?
No. So a lot of people started their own agencies and management, firms in LA, and they were all douchebags pretty much. I mean, not all of them, but most of them. And if you're in the TikTok world in LA, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But there was just a lot of exploitation in every sense of the word, and a lot of scammy shit. And like where a manager was taking 80%, giving the talent 20 instead of the other way around.
And that's agreed before, like the artist knew. Like
They just everybody
they
saw an
didn't-
opportunity and it's just scammed.
Yeah, but and then they would kind of the same exact way that the music industry cats, like the A&Rs, like game people, is like they take you out to some fancy dinner and wine and dine you and put you in a limousine and bring you to a club or whatever, make it seem like you're gonna live this crazy life. Same thing. Like all the dying modeling agencies in LA were like, ooh, this is a model that works. We already have a business set up. We have a building. We have like stuff, fancy things that look official. So we'll like steal this model and start using it. And I can't name any names, but there's so many freaking stupid little agencies that think they know what they're doing. They have no clue.
wow.
And what happened is they started hiking up the prices way higher, charging artists and independent artists sometimes. And if you think about it, it's like okay, say you're an independent artist. I became a huge advocate for independent artists during that time because now everyone was seeing what we were doing. Everybody who was an independent artist would come to me and say, Max, please, like, help me get viral, please. Like, I have all this music I've been working my whole life for. I don't have a label. I don't have that much money, but like, can you have some of your TikTokers?
That's
like,
my next question, though. What's their budget? How are independent artists, like, how are they managing themselves?
well, so what happened is, I started, if you look at like a Google ad, for example, or a Spotify ad, and you look at how much money you're going to spend to get 1 million plays, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But if you compare it to how much a TikToker that will get you 1 million views is going to charge, it's going to be way less. So I made a very fair kind of pricing system that made everybody happy. TikTokers were getting 2, 3, 5, 10 grand, 20. Some of them make 150 grand per one TikTok because of the sheer power of their following and all that.
150 grand for one video.
Yeah, some get more. The top ones get like 300, 400 grand plus royalties in the song in perpetuity.
Are you ready for this?
One
it's
video.
going up right now.
For one video.
Yeah.
For one video post. Yeah.
Well, because think about it. Like, you can, one person, like, Renegade. That song, like, it's from like 20 years ago or something like that. And just because Charlie did a TikTok to it, like, that guy's going to eat for the rest of his life off of that video.
Yeah, and like I see like random people, like the Miguel song that they did like sped up, and now it has almost like the amount of views as the original one.
So
and
a
that
lot,
was
a lot
posted this year, like last year.
a lot of labels came to me representing artists who are already passed away from a long time ago, and they own the catalog, and they're like, hey, can we reactivate this song? And
That's super smart.
Yeah. But okay, so anyway, I became a really big advocate for independent
Super
artists, right?
smart.
Because independent artists would come and be like, we don't have, 50 grand. I have like $500. Can you do something with that? And I was like, okay, I mean, yeah, but I don't know how viral it's going to go, but we'll do our best. And so then I would go to the
smaller,
the TikTokers. Well, sometimes some of them are cool. And I'd be like, yo, this guy's really like been busting his ass, and like he has really good music. I believe in him. He doesn't have any money. Like, if I get 10 of you, it's like going to be $100 each. I won't even take any of it. I just want like to help this guy out. Are you down? Someone will be like, no. And then some will do it. And so we would give deals to people like that, just out of kindness. And sometimes it works, and depending on the song, sometimes. But yeah. So anyway, then COVID happened. Dun dun dun.
What is that?
I don't know.
I heard about it.
But
something in there.
that thing.
I read about it.
Man, every store, everybody that was selling physical products could no longer legally sell physical products. So they all had to move to online. I got hit up by everybody.
So then it went outside of music.
Yeah.
It was just, I just need you to promote my product.
I never slept. We were doing campaigns for every fashion company you can imagine, for every NFT that dropped, for every crypto thing, for every new app, every financial advisor, every real estate broker, it was crazy. It was insane. So I got a really wide kind of like network through that experience, and made some good money, made a lot of people a lot more money. I should have, man.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's my next question. That's my next question.
Exactly.
They're putting money onto something that is like an ad, right?
Where's the sound effect for that?
So they're putting money to something that is basically an ad.
Yeah.
Where does your fee come from? Like, how did you manage all that? How did you get paid?
Yeah, well, I was curating the ads a lot of times. I was the one coming up with, how are we going to turn this ad into something that seems completely organic and doesn't seem like an ad. I would come up with a script and a whole like strategy even.
No way.
Yeah.
You would produce the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'd even go and physically film stuff and whatever, and then a lot of times with creators, so eventually I said yes to managing some people because they were getting so screwed over by so many different people. I was watching it happen. I was like, okay, this is bad. Yes, sure. Started managing people, learning what that meant. A lot of it has to do with just being a friend and like a mentor sort of, and helping guide people through business situations. But also like I said, in LA, there's so many people that are just constantly trying to find out what they can get out of you and show off so that they can get you to believe them, and then they just take it all. So my job became now a barrier between all these corporations and entities and these people who were just became famous a week ago and had no idea what was going on. And that so I'm an artist first and foremost. That was like my first thing as a music artist, but for like 3 or 4 years, like I didn't release anything because that took over my life. I never slept. I was just constantly calls all the people are, hey, can you, I'm like, but it's 100 grand. Okay, okay.
And how many people are you working with?
Oh my God. I was at one time non-exclusively representing 300 talent.
And
Exclusively
what
is like
was-
25.
What was your team size? Was it just you?
It was just me mostly. I hired some people that it's hard to find good help, especially in a completely disruptive business that never
So
existed
it was
before.
like it was just external contractors. It was you.
It's me. Yeah. I brought in some people and put them on salary, and then
It never worked.
Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
you.
Nobody.
Wow.
yeah.
I've seen it. I know. Yeah.
Man, you have like
This man did not explain. He was like, yeah, this is a friend. He does music. He's really big, but he's an artist.
It's one of those weird
Huh?
artists. Told you.
Wow.
So yeah. So I took the first hip hop company public, and he
That's crazy.
broke. Yeah, that was a minute, and well, it's a story for another. Everybody's like, "What did he just say?" And my buddy here took. He brought you all the songs you know today, and didn't know you knew that they were on TikTok first, and how that whole model changed. And now he's gonna be doing something super disruptive soon.
Wow.
So get
Get it?
ready, strap in,
way.
bro. Yeah.
So, question.
yeah. Okay.
How do you, because this is like, you're outside of the bubble. This is all happening, TikTok, the artist, and you're outside connecting it.
Yep.
Going back to being an artist, how do you connect yourself like inside the bubble once you're outside, you're managing all these people? How do you go back to being an artist?
Yeah, I went through a period where I was so obsessed with what's going to get views, and that's like our whole culture. It's become the entire entertainment industry went
He
from
said
like,
that, and I had like 10 flashbacks.
yeah, it's because it's like, depending on the success of this campaign,
Uh-huh.
it's going to determine whether or not this client comes back and refers 10 other people who are going to come back, and if my talent get to pay their parents' rent next month. So it was a lot of I went through a 2.5 year period of like just despair as an artist, because I felt like, oh my God, what is, nothing matters.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's-
mean, you
no
were
one
not
gives a
you were
shit.
not an artist at that point.
Yeah,
you were
right.
something completely different.
Yeah, it just felt like no one cares, because the people who I spent the most time talking to, that's what it was, were all business people, CMOs,
Yeah.
and influencers. I want more money. Can we get more? Can we get more jobs quick? Because like, I just bought this Lamborghini and like my payment's coming up, and and then on the other side, it's like these artists and whatever from both independent and labels. They're like, please, like, make this blow up, and it started to become saturated. Like I said, and all these other people started copying my
Your system.
my idea system, but doing it really poorly, charging way too much money for what they were giving, because nobody knew what it was. No one knew what it was worth yet. It was a very small group of people who got in on it first, and then their friends and whatever. So the world is huge. There's tons of artists out there. So they started doing it and advertising the shit out of it, and then all these people started paying them way more, getting way less results, and then it killed the market because everyone was like, oh, this doesn't work. And they all started telling their friends, don't pay TikTokers, this doesn't work.
Right.
So there was like a
They
weird
screwed up the model.
there was like a 6-month period where like nobody in the music industry thought it was
But
was
didn't-
worth doing, and then it popped back up again.
And didn't your clients trust you in the sense of like, yeah, I know they're saying all this shit, but
My
it's
clients
worked for
trusted me. Yeah, my clients trusted me because I was giving them results. But a lot of
Wow.
what I'm saying is just in general, the climate of
Yeah, everybody. I think you said it best. A lot of idiots, or not idiot, a lot of people who didn't know the business, who are like, I'm smart, I know. It's like the market got so frothy so fast that people just saw opportunity. They ran in, they lied to people. I'm going to call it what it is. They lied to people, or let me say what is that expression? Fake it till you make it. They all
Fake it
were
till you
faking
make
it to the make it. And they just created, what they did is they destroyed the market because they were full of it. They didn't understand how the social media game works, how the relationships, and you can still see that today. I mean, we were at VidCon just recently, and here it is. You know, the people that know are still all in touch with each other. It's kind of like, you know, like people don't get that, like, you know it. You know, if you don't know, you don't know. You just rush in, and anybody makes sense. And like you said, so it's one of those things where early on everybody was kind of in the know. Everybody knew each other. Everybody's like, hey, are you on the list? Do you know what's going on? And it was not an exclusionary thing. It was just it was just being there and having your dues and being at the right time. And then all of a sudden it exploded, and everybody the market just got so flooded so fast that it fell down on itself. I do believe long term, as you start looking at this, you know, and this is before you guys' term, there was a great thing about marketing. It's like, you know, you spent 50% of my marketing is wasted. I just don't know what 50%. So that's been an industry term for a long time now with the social media influencer and having that direct contact. You start looking at all the data points. There's a much, much better conversion, better touch point, better branding. And I say branding because if you look at it, it's not, maybe you're not selling something today. Maybe you're just starting, maybe you're just starting a podcast and you're in episode 10, but in 2 years from now, when it's blowing up, you know, so maybe an artist just was doing it for the love of it, you know, so there's a lot of people, I think early on were doing it organically, they were doing it, and then the money started coming in. And that's what I think started happening. And everybody saw the money, and so they rushed in, but they weren't there building it in the original days. You know what I mean? And that really, and they didn't know what to do. They just wanted to be in because quick buck, right? Everybody's looking for that fast dollar, and especially in LA. And well, I mean, all this everywhere, but you know, LA's got a very frothiness to it, and we've spent enough time there to say that. But anyway, you know what I'm getting at. So that's where I think, you know, Max, like you just said, I knowing him, it's just there's no soul, and I think music and art, there's a lot of soul in it. There's a lot of, you know, why I'm in this industry is I love that human connection, the collaboration. You know, if you love the money side, you're in a different space. You know, there's something different. I mean, that is 100% why I went back into this space. And everybody's like, Vic, what are you doing? You're getting out of corporate America. You do it. I'm like, yeah, I want something more. I want to have a connection. And I'm very blessed to have friends like you, new friends like you. Like that's what I think we if we're very blessed, we live long and we have those connections where it's like, hey, you're a friend. It's much more than a transactional relationship. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that's so it's hard. It's wow. I think I need to open this bottle.
I think it's also really cool when you find somebody that sees the thing that you love the same way. You know, whether it's video, music, or whatever art. Right. You know, it's like once you find somebody that wants to put the same amount of soul into that, you have an immediate connection. Yeah, even if you don't know.
Well, it's how we met. I saw you and I went.
I asked him you can so many questions about everything. I'm like, so what does this do? And does this do that? And this cable goes into this, and like,
and I was like, he's got it. It's you know, you can't you just that it's that fire in your belly. You're just like, I'm going to, and I know, and you're going to be very successful. But okay. So
continue.
Enough praising all you guys. Let's get to the brass tacks. Yeah. I'm going to need to get some ice here in a second. With that being said, I saw them look up. No, I can't drink your drink. Can I? When you guys give me some ice, please. I'm calling in a life.
Ice minions now.
Oh yeah, facts.
Wow.
Aggressive.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, shots been fired. That's why I had to ask very politely.
She's like the quietest person too.
Yeah. I know.
I'm glad you have a compressor on this mic, or that would have killed all of us just now. SpongeBob. Okay. Sorry.
Jellyfish. You know what day it is? Go ahead, Luke. It's Tuesday. He needs a mic. It's Tuesday, isn't it? All right.
Hopefully it'll be posted on a Tuesday, isn't it?
Tuesday.
Post it first. We'll post this on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
What?
Everyone knows what Tuesday is.
Tuesday.
Of course they do. Silly
Funny
silly
times.
boy.
All
of
these
course,
all these
everyone
memories that make. You
knows.
see, this is what I'm talking about. All these memories that get made in the industry and studios,
Yeah,
and you look
that's
back and
great.
you're like, that's what it's about.
You triggered a thought. So, man, I that whole there's a lot more to the story, but that whole experience took me into a lot of rooms with some of the most wealthy people on the planet, and a lot of them are not that happy,
Yeah.
and they're just so busy. And you hear that all the time, but like to see it truly, it's like, what do we work for in our lives? Like, why are we trying to attain whatever level of success we're trying to attain, whatever it is? If it's you want to be a doctor so you can help people, you want to be a millionaire, whatever, all the different things that we chase in life, even from the smallest to the largest, it's all ultimately to be happy, to feel happy inside. And we're chasing these things that we think are going to take us years and years or whatever, when you can achieve that right now just by living
In the moment.
appreciative and being grateful for what you do have and the people around you, and finding genuine connection and, you know, loving on people. That's pretty much all that matters. And so I'll transition into like, she has your ice. We should get it.
Thank you, sweetie.
It's a giant container of ice.
Somebody wants
And I had a question.
Somebody
to
what?
you follow Who Knows the Way. Who is leading?
Yes. You're right. We can take a musical break at some point if you want.
Oh yeah, we're gonna need to do.
And wait, I want to ask you because I was always curious about this. So you're saying that all these people that are in these high places and they have all this money, they're not happy.
Well,
Some of them are.
Well,
but
obviously, but
yeah.
the ones that you saw or you felt that they were not, do you think that they knew that, you know, I'm not in a happy place, but I'm still going to keep going because I have the money? Or do they just not know that
I don't think they realize it necessarily. Cause
So they think they're happy with what they have and they just
yeah, I mean,
they just emit a different frequency.
yeah. Well, okay. I just, for me, I know that growing up doing music was just pure joy. Pure joy. Art and music was always just like euphoria all the time. And then when it started to become a corporate, monetized, curated thing, a product, it changed a lot, because now when I was writing songs, I wasn't thinking, what does this mean to me, or who is this going to uplift and inspire, or am I saving someone's life with this lyric? I hope so. It was more, is this going to sell? Is this going to bump in the clubs? Is this going to be popular? Is this going to go viral? Is this going to make everybody happy? Is this going to like resonate with the people that put money into these campaigns, as well as the audience who's going to hear it? Is this going to like, is this forward thinking enough? Is like, it just completely changed into strategizing rather than just expressing.
And how would you how would you define that difference in, I don't want to say technical terms, but in the song? So like obviously a song can be commercial and they can still have traction and you
For
know,
sure.
it can be popular and viral. But at what line do you think that as an artist you stop considering the song, you know, your song, and you start making it for somebody else?
Well, quite literally, a lot of the big songs and big artists and labels, they have rooms with 20, 30, 40 people in them, all writing the same song. And it's a collage of one person wrote 20% of the hook, and then someone else wrote 50, and then 2 months later they threw out that part, and it's just like a smorgasbord of lyrics, you know?
Or what do you think of that?
I mean, art is art, so if it's good, it's good. But, you know, collaboration's cool. But sometimes there's something to be said for just, I feel this. I want to express it, and you just, like, my best songs I think I've ever written have all come out in like 5 to 15 minutes.
I agree with that.
Right?
I 100% agree with that. It just happens.
Yeah. And then I've done song collaborate, like I produce, play a bunch of instruments, write, sing, mix, master my own. Like I can do all of that. So when I was in LA in these situations, it was really challenging for me to like be open to collaborating in ways that I didn't know I wanted to. Like I was always down to collab, like I'll leave a verse open and you jump on my song, or you leave a verse open, I'll jump on your song.
Yeah.
But like, you want to write my song with me or for me? Like what? Like doesn't feel authentic, you know? And then I started to open up to it more, like, okay, like this is a collaboration, like it can be a beautiful thing, and it can. But sometimes if the head person. It's like a company, right? Like every song, if you have like a bunch of people working on one project together, it's like a company. Who's directing the mission statement for that company, or what's the ethos of that company? Is it to get everybody drinking more alcohol and partying and doing more drugs and like believing that it's cool to kill people, and like, is that the prerogative of this movement, of this song? Or is it to wake people up to the truth and like inspire them to see their greatest potential?
Yeah, and you have to do that for every song.
Yeah. And most of what I see is the former. And so, you know, who's to say that if those artists or if those songwriters were not in that room with that objective being guided by whoever's paying for the session,
Mm-hmm.
that they might not write something really incredible and good for humanity.
Wow.
Which
So
happened
you
right
think-
behind me in that room over there.
Yeah. Hell
That's
yeah.
an amazing room.
I remember
by the
that
way.
moment.
That's we should play that song somewhere in here
We should
at
play
some
that.
point.
Okay.
Made right in that room.
Have I heard this song?
No,
No,
I
I
don't
have
think
not.
so. Well, I don't know.
No, I don't think no. But it's
Yeah, he inspired me to write one of my favorite sons I've ever made.
well,
No
thank
way.
you. I
Yeah.
I was blown away. We were talking about it.
No
and
way.
yeah, because like I guess like I said, sometimes I guess maybe you switch roles as we're talking. We're in deep philosophy here now, and you know, like you said, what. I'm going to bring it back. Like you said, are you happy when you're a millionaire? Like I've been the CEO of companies. I've raised millions and payments companies. I've done some very interesting things in my life. But I grew up in New York in front of the camera and missed that collaborative, got out of corporate America, came back, said, I want to be a father. Like I'm so blessed. It is ridiculous. I know what I want. Right. And so many people don't. And I feel so bad for so many people in this industry because they're so lost, because really they want to be loved. And I don't mean that in a weird way. I just mean we as humans just want some love, and we keep moving away from that. And it's and so you replace it with money, or you place it with views or success or whatever. And it's not like, you know, the love can come in many different ways and a feeling, but we're chasing this feeling or something that lacking, right? So people go, oh, it's money. I'm lacking money. They substitute, or I'm lacking fame or likes or the dopamine hit and all this sort of stuff. So I feel so blessed where I'm at right now in my position, where I feel much more of a Sherpa or a mentor, and it's funny because I laugh when I say that. Is it's like I'm like, hey, you know, did you look at this angle or this angle? And and that's why I call, you know, Max a dear friend, and I mean that because I've seen what's gone on in his ecosphere and watching all the stuff we were just talking about, and that's when I was saying, hey, take a look at this. Take a look at this. And he did. And then he's like, next thing you know, he goes, I walked in, he's like, slept here all night, you know, normal industry thing, sleeping on the floor, doing all that. And many nights I've done it, still doing it. And he's like, listen to this. And I was like, I was like, I got chills. And he's like, wow. And I'm like, you know, it's just incredible to that song. Everybody hears it, it's just like, wow. Well, you know what? We'll stick a is there a music video? Is it up? Is it somewhere?
It's not up yet, but there's sort
It's
of a
unreleased.
video.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
It's
there's
still
some-
unreleased.
I was gonna say we gotta link something. We gotta put something in here below or
do it.
somewhere so people can hear this song, because it's very impactful of what we're talking about. It's incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's you'll feel it. We'll play it after this, and hopefully, when this gets posted, that'll be the thing, Matt. We'll figure a way to put even something on it, something. So Max said yes. So
Yeah.
I think it'd be great for people to feel this.
So going back to your question, so I lost myself as a person, as an artist, in every sense of the word. Like really, LA is a fucked up.
Oh.
You know, it's not all.
No,
you know.
LA's incredible. It's just something. I don't know. Yeah, how do you even define it?
I would say it's all these people from around the world who come from really small towns, who were the best in their small town,
Yeah,
and then they come here and they're just average. And so everybody, you know, this is to you, every artist out there. We're all just like neglected, underpraised kids who are trying to get this from the
Right,
entire
just
world.
some
because,
love. Some
yeah.
yeah.
Like, that's what I believe at the heart of every person, really, not just art. Like, why do people try so freaking hard in school to just go to school for another 10 years just to become some crazy profession that they have no interest, that's super boring, but their parents told them that that's what they have to be if they want to be loved and accepted by them. Same thing with art and music. Like, we're creative minded people, so we don't typically excel in those fields because we can't, like, we don't want to, like, there's no interest in like studying all this boring stuff, but we become good at something and then we start noticing people are praising us for it. And like, the pretty girl talks to me now that I sing. Oh shit, that's how I get love. The love that I never got as a kid. I went, oh my God, everyone's clapping for me now. Everyone wants to be friends with me. Like, that's the shit, you know? And then you see the music videos. Oh, look, this guy's got all this money in the cars and so many friends. And like, it comes from a really innocent, you know, place.
Mm-hmm.
But then it turns into, like, when you get there, you get to LA and everyone's trying to do that. Everyone's trying to do that. Everyone is trying to do that 24/7. And if you have something to offer, ooh,
Yeah.
you're screwed, because now everyone sees you as a big target. Everyone sees you as a big target. The people who are your peers, you're either a threat or you're an opportunity to get to someone who you're connected to that maybe was working with you, that you want to steal from them so that you can get them to push your career. Then there's the people who are preying on you to get you to be famous so they can make money off of you. Or then there's the people that just want to sleep with you and they say they're going to make you famous so they can do that. And it's just all.
By the way, that's what Max said to me. I'm like, no, Max, I'm not. No.
I am not sleeping with you,
Yeah, I know, Max. Stop it.
Something about that bald head.
I know. Did I not tell you what happened? Sorry, everybody. I'm sorry you all had to see that. Just wanted to, I have to put out my disclaimers, otherwise I'm going to get canceled. Max was grooming me. Moving on. Anyway.
But anyway,
I'm shocked Luke hasn't. There's got to be a sound for that. So he's just shaking his head violently.
But anyway,
yeah.
So actually, I listened to the music that I made during that time because I did make music.
Okay.
I was meeting all these big executives and all these whatever top of the industry people and doing campaigns for them.
Mm-hmm.
None of them knew I did music. They just all saw me as the TikTok dude. And, once in a while I would mention, oh, you want to hear this? Because we'd end up spending a lot of time together. I'd be like, oh, look, I just made this new song. They'd be like, what are you talking about? You're an artist? And I was like, yeah. I'd play for them. They're like,
I witnessed it.
They're like, you're lying. This is one of your campaigns for some other artist. And I was like, no, it's me. I'd start singing and they'd be like, oh, why are we not doing a deal right now? Like, and then, start over again. I'd be like, oh, no, thanks. Like, I don't want to. But, so I kind of went down the road of trying to be an LA artist, because coming from Hawaii, Hawaiian music, I grew up singing like literally Hawaiian music for hula halau's and stuff like that. And then, like my own stuff, acoustic, whatever it's called, R&B, whatever you want to call it. And then like getting into like hip hop stuff. I was always into hip hop from a really young age and rap and like all that kind of stuff, incorporating into like my own sound that's kind of different, very different actually. And then I came to LA and it didn't fit in and I felt like I had to fit in. So I changed my style. I changed how I dressed. I changed my music, everything, my writing, everything. I would be in these big rooms with all these famous people and they're all writing a certain way. And I was like, oh, I guess I have to, you know what I mean? Like they're successful. Like, I guess that's what I have to do. And then I eventually realized that like all of that is bullshit. Like that's all just the same noise that, some of it makes some money and whatever. But like, if you think about the most iconic legacy artists who you'll never forget, who are going to outlast like
anybody.
Yeah. Like if humanity gets wiped out and aliens come, like that's going to be the stuff that's still going to be playing. They're the ones who are just authentic and like they're like found their own unique sound. They're not trying to sound like anybody else and they just do their thing. So I got back to that. I was like, fuck this. Like I know who I am. Like I know what my value is and I have like really cool shit that doesn't sound like anybody else. So I'm going to go back to doing that. And so I guess the sword got sharpened because I will say like my writing, my production, like all that from hanging out in those rooms and producing was like way better. But I got back to who I really am.
We're having dog issues. Hold on.
Oh,
He's eating. I don't even know. We're gonna lock him in the office. He's just getting out of control. He's chewing off. He's literally ripping the grass off the wall back here. he's losing his mind.
Kuma is
So
ready.
Kuma, he is like.
Can we roll that in a spliff and like
You're just gonna put it in your shake. It's
inside? Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's like, what?
They
happened?
don't know.
Just put that little flower
So,
back here.
You know, going back to you learning all these things, right? And then understanding through all your connections with being that mediator from TikTok to label. Do you want to be an independent artist?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. A label to me now that I've seen
what
it,
would take for a label to come into your music?
yeah, a label to me now is like a family office or like a big corporate entity or like a big hedge fund, that's a bank. Plus, well, it's mostly that. And then there's all these people who are assigned different positions and jobs, and some of them are interns, some of them are really old and completely out of touch, and some of them are really in the know and cool and trendy and whatever. But essentially, it's just a bunch of people to do what one artist could do by themselves. They just have money and like influence
And you think
or access to influential platforms. So I have access to all those influential platforms because they pay me to do their job for them. All the people who make everyone famous, they just essentially get paid to pay me to pay TikTokers to blow the stuff up. I know the people that run all the billboards in Times Square and
You just
like,
witnessed how
all
it
that
all
stuff.
goes, everybody.
Yeah.
There's your secret sauce.
yeah, all the payola people that you pay to get your stuff on the radio. I know all those guys. All the people that you pay to get on like TV and your stuff in movies, like anything you could imagine to get exposure for music, like those guys have come to me for help. So I don't need that at all. I just, it'd be nice to have an unlimited bank account to just spend and make stuff go crazy.
But I'm talking about if you don't have those resources.
If you don't have those resources,
independent artist.
yes. Now you don't even need that, because here's the reality. Consumers got really, really, really wise in terms of how they consume content nowadays.
Yeah. They smell through
the
the bullshit.
The platforms have enabled everybody to have a voice.
You missed a great jam here, Max. You gotta,
Oh man.
you gotta
Max
find.
and Jade,
Max would
you
love the
both
shit. Yeah,
missed
Jade.
it.
Oh, my
I
favorite
would've
look was when
loved
you
to
said
have you
Jade's
guys.
gonna sing, and you're like.
No, and the funniest thing,
he left this dimension. He
Yeah.
left the dimension.
he goes like,
He's
"Oh, I bet Max's face
He-
is probably," and then you're like,
You saw another hand. I saw it going. He was
Man,
processing. It was like,
Hey,
what?
I hope-
Fucking lions and tigers and bears.
and you're volunteering. You're like, "This is the guy that's gonna record us," and I was like,
he's
"You're
the
gonna
one-
sing?"
Right.
And then she got scared.
And he's the one. The only song that I have as proof is
The one
them-
that you guys did, Stay.
Yeah,
I-
and
I've
it was
heard that
yeah.
one. I've
See,
heard that
Yeah.
one.
and it's so
her
good.
voice sounds
Everybody
freaking amazing.
loves it.
Yeah.
How did you get her to sing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, I know that maybe eventually, hopefully one day she'll be comfortable enough to sing. But
Yeah.
that session wasn't it.
But like, there's not a lot of female singers that can do that.
Yeah.
Everyone's
You're either
trying
like
to be
too
like-
powerful or too soft.
Yeah.
You know?
So I doubt you guys have seen this because this is all. It's called Richmond, North Richmond, and it's this guy right here, and he wrote a song. He was living in like a trailer, and he was whatever and political. He blew like the deals.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Just when is
Yes.
this? This is this August, right? So a few months, like I said, it was very recent.
Nice.
So it took me so long to research this, I forgot where we're going with it. No,
You're saying, you asked.
oh yeah, you right.
Yeah.
So thank you. Yeah, the question is, if you sing something, since we're talking about music, if you sing something and you release it, and this is my number one thing in my book that everybody keeps asking me when I'm going to release, is you have to it has to be genuine, right? Just release it, be natural. And we've talked about it. Everybody, when you go into a studio and you're recording your song and there's 50 people engineering and there's no, the art, it's very hard. That's why the acting, the amazing actors are amazing actors because they can turn it on with 50 people staring at them, right? And where most people would shit their pants and they freeze up. So it's the same thing to many different levels. And that's where I think with social media, following on what you're saying is that song with this guy, he literally just released it. I'm looking it up again. Richmond, I don't even have, it's got his name here somewhere. Number one, it's like blown up everywhere. 31-year-old in Virginia, and he just was like banjo, and it's like his great grandfather. You guys can look it up.
No
Look,
way.
yeah.
Nice.
But the thing is, it was just because it was from the heart. It resound. The song hit. It just hit a moment, right? And I think if that goes back to we can manufacture movies, we can manufacture art, AI can manufacture. It's. I like to say everything we do in society is looking in the rearview mirror. What I mean by that is we look at the analytics. Did this trend well? Nobody's. How am I? What, like, you watch all the social media influencers. What's the next trend? What's this? Stop it. It's not about that. What are you going to do? It's that thing of what's next. But from a creative standpoint, where are you taking this? What's your journey? And I think, as you're saying, your generation, the generation from me back, is growing up looking for authenticity, originality, and connection. And if you don't have that, and they can smell it, we almost don't even know. Like, I'm watching all this AI stuff, and it's so funny because I have actually lost a lot of business to AI. And no joke. And I'm like, but then I see what they're doing, and I'm like, oh, this is crap. I'm like, in a few years, they're literally coming back. Because yes, AI can do certain things, but it can't.
But it won't go that far.
It can't connect. It's not going to connect the way that song does. There's so many levels from, when they're singing it, you feel it. It's just a different thing. And that's where, going back to, like you said, is I think, yes, Max can help from his past bump the song or whatever it is, get the promotion working around it, but it's not gonna. It's whether they stay or not. That's the difference. You know what I mean? So I don't
agree.
know if there's an answer. That's what I'm getting. I don't know if there's an answer. I'm just I'm bringing history to it, which means age, because I'm older than you guys. But yeah, I just think that every generation, all that stuff, we can now. You can get, like we started with, 60,000 songs a day. But that doesn't mean there's 60,000 good songs. I'm there. Out of those 60,000, 59,999 are all done because they want to be famous. They want to be an influencer.
Yeah.
They think, or you know what I mean? Like, there's that one in there or whatever it is that's like, I'm doing this just like that guy who just blew up because he was you listen to the story, he's like, I didn't even mean, like, it just got out type of thing. Somebody posted or whatever. And that's really where but we as humans connect with that real moment. So I think the more you try and polish it, produce it, it gets to the big corporate machine, so to speak. Yeah. That's when we sense it. We may not sense it 100%, but there's something in our back where, like, all right, it's like candy. Yeah. It's not a meal. It's like, okay. And that's what I think a lot of the pop music, and that goes back to Max. He's been very successful building a lot of these, helping or building this, getting all these people out there who, they wanna have a song and good, but there's some musicians out there who really want to. You feel it in them.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
is that you? Do you need a
No, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't. My phone was on
Okay.
silent.
So we've covered. God, I'm going to switch subjects for a minute. Tell me about your journey real quick. Yeah, because you started with music, and now you're like, okay, no, I'm going to move into the helping others. Now, what does that mean?
So, my family always supported me doing music. I've been doing music since I was like 4 years old. I started with a cello. I started with different instruments, and then I slowly moved into being in front of the computer with an interface. So when I did all that, it kind of worked out in the sense of I met people. I had fun, and they were all connecting me into places. But in terms of my family, it was kind of like go to school. So I went to school for multimedia, and then in school I got into like I made the mistake of actually signing into a production deal. It was not a 360 deal, but they do have kind of like, the idea of what kind of music you're gonna make. So they gave a lot of direction, and that is the spot of like when you were saying, I forgot exactly what words you said, but it was like you were out of it. You disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where I was at for the beginning of the year. But I couldn't connect with the artists. I couldn't connect with the music. I couldn't even like, connect with anything. So I started realizing that instead of working with artists independently, I just want to work with everybody, just, kind of connecting them and connect, putting the points together. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. So where I want to go after meeting with the studio and Vic is kind of like, being able to combine all these things with video and audio and putting artists together. Coming from having a really shitty contract that kind of controlled you, that took away that freedom of music. So that's kind of the spot where I'm at right now. Of like, I need to find that love for music again, where you just do it for the love of it, not for whether people are gonna like it or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of where the spot I am right now.
Yeah,
trying
because
to
I
find.
saw him. He's brought some people here. He's been making some good stuff, and
Nice.
your roommate. And I'm like, okay, so trying to see what the next step is. And he's said some interesting things that I'm behind, but
Yeah, but I'm actually learning from both of you. Like right now, I'm taking notes in my head of everything that you're saying. But I wanted to ask you something about artists right now. So you have social media, you have the opportunity to not go to a label.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think are the first steps that artists need to take? Because I kind of gave up on being the artist because of that. I don't want to be the person that everybody's looking at. I don't want to have that pressure. I want to be able to produce it and have fun with it and have the freedom of it. But there's so many artists right now that are starting that want to do it and they have no idea where to start.
Yeah.
Well,
I would say that content in general, because we as a society, generally speaking, have moved into a different way of consuming content than we ever have before.
Mhm.
We want it all at once. And we want, if you're an artist, we want to know as much as you'll give us about you and your life. And, so I think there's a lot of opportunity for people to tell their stories or not, tell whatever they want to their audience through these platforms themselves without having to go with anybody necessarily, when it comes to like label stuff, if you don't come to a label with a lot of leverage, then they have all the leverage and they're going to give you, there's no point, because now you're, again, what I was kind of alluding to earlier is you're giving over your entire life to a set of 100 or more people sometimes, who some of them they're going to quit their jobs, and maybe they were assigned to your album for the past 6 months and then they quit right before it. And now some new person comes in, they're making all the decisions on your behalf and you don't even know that happened. And there's all, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a company, it's a business, it's for money. So like, that's what happens when you sign a deal normally. I'm more like, I'm open to working with people on more of a partnership basis. Like I know what I'm doing. I have a lot of experience with all parts of it. So if somebody wants to come in and invest and take a percentage, cool. But for most people, I would say you don't even just make a good song and post it.
Fair enough.
and make a video
just
about
like
it.
Just like I was saying,
Make a video, post, make 100, make a video of yourself in the process of making it. Set up your camera, your phone on a tripod before you start making the song. Forget it's there, put it on time lapse or put it on, not time lapse, whatever, and just make the song. And then, oh, look, I have this video now, and you can chop it down, edit it, or you can post it long form to YouTube and just keep posting content about your stuff. Like I think a lot of people got really intimidated by the TikTok movement, thinking that they had to become, so many people I talk to, so many artists, they're like, I just don't want to get into TikTok because I don't do that like I'm not cool. Like I don't do those dances and lip syncs and the skits and like, you don't have to. That's not all that TikTok is. Like people, that was like a year and then people got tired of it and they started seeking other kind of content. So TikTok is so massive. They have STEM, they have everything.
Right.
So, there's endless opportunity. It's just what you do with it. You can also even just, I don't know, go on, have AI generate you, have AI generate you like a little cartoon video to your song, and don't even put your face on the internet if you don't want to, and just, post like 10-second clips of your song or the favorite part of your song or just all parts of your song. Make 10 different accounts on YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, all different names. Post all of it, automate it, learn how to like do some computer stuff, automate all of it and have it on a posting schedule, posting hundreds of videos for yourself for like 2 months. If one of those doesn't blow up, you fucking suck. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, like
I'm not. No, I'm just kidding. Right.
No, but even
Right.
if music that most people would say sucks, like sometimes that performs the best because it's like shockingly bad that it's so funny that you want to like make comedy to it, and
Right.
you know what I mean?
You
So
never
like,
know. You never know.
it's true. Like
It's true.
So it's the world has never been more ripe for independent artists to make a name for themselves. It's just, and people get intimate. They're like, oh yeah, I posted, I didn't blow up, so I gave up. Okay, well you have to be consistent.
Yeah.
You have to be you have to post like consistently every single day for a while before anything happens. Like it's going to start off as going to be like a couple hundred views, and then eventually one of them is going to be like 100,000. You're gonna be like, where did that come from? And you're going to be like 2 months in with like 20 followers and no traction at all, and then all of a sudden you're going to get a video that just hits 10 mil, and you're going to like grow 100,000 followers overnight.
Be like, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it happens. But you have to really love it as much as you love making music. That's the part that's hard for most people, because a lot of artists don't have any interest in that. But unfortunately, like, it is not, fortunately or unfortunately, whatever your perception is, that's the world we live in, and you're either going to do it or you're not. And you're going to just complain and say, I miss the old ways of the music industry when you just make a record and then they take care of it for you. Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
I think it's
Be mad.
Yeah, exactly. I think you have to stop kind of that expression, look at yourself in the mirror and define success. What does success mean to you? Is it money? Is it views? Is it you got your art out there and you touch people's lives? What does the word success mean to you?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? And that is probably the thing I would say with artists we struggle with the most. We're the most critical. We never, I always say and this is not my quote, but the enemy of perfect, great is the enemy, perfect is you never get to perfect, bottom line, right?
Yeah.
I'm changing the quote so I don't, get, copyright infringement. No, I'm just kidding. But, there is no perfect. Your perfect is not my perfect.
Yeah.
So as long as you're just being genuine and you get it out there, that's making art. I want to switch gears for a minute because I know there's so much more we can talk about music. However, I want to talk about your journey and where we're at, because why am I wearing a hoodie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the hoodie. Bring it back.
Do I skip Guy House?
No, I want the beginning of it
Okay.
all, because I'm going to talk about Mission Resolve and some stuff too. So.
Okay. So, all of that, led to a lot of very young people getting really famous really fast, making a lot of money, and then realizing that all their friends were fake and that people just wanted them for their ability to make stuff blow up or whatever it is. And they got depressed. And so there was a huge, LA is already a breeding ground for depression and drug use and stuff, right? So just add that to like all
$10 million.
the mix. Yeah. And there was just a lot of just really sad people trying to pretend they were super happy, because again, when you achieve a certain level of notoriety, depending on what you got famous for, you kind of have to, you don't have to, but you feel like this pressure to maintain this image of success and happiness and whatever it is. Or sometimes it's not. Maybe you get famous for being the pissed off person all the time, and then all of a sudden you're like really happy, but you have to maintain that now because you're paying your bills.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever it is, like that unfortunately becomes like a thing. And anyway, some, friends actually, unfortunately ended their lives and stuff, and it just got really heavy, and I just didn't I didn't want to be a part of it anymore. Really, it just felt so meaningless. It was like, what are we doing? Like, we're just billboards. We just became billboards for other people's companies and products and stuff, and then a lot of this, fast fashion exploit. We were all just exploited by all these big fast fashion companies who then were destroying the planet, which we didn't realize at the time, but then learned that. And it just felt so empty. And I remember, growing up, I was always doing a lot of like volunteer work and like kind of service stuff, helping people out. And that's always what made me feel the most like alive and like I was contributing to something with purpose. And so I kind of wanted to bring that to that world. So I got back into like volunteering for some different nonprofits and organizations, and it just felt so great. And I was like, oh my God, I got to bring my friends to this. So I started bringing my friends who happened to be influencers to volunteer spaces. And then, I was like, oh, wow, wait a minute. Like, this nonprofit is doing amazing work and they have no money and nobody knows about them. But guess what? This influencer has millions of followers and they can bring exposure to this amazing, beautiful organization. Like, let's, so, and then it's just kind of organically. So I reformed my agency into a new model to promote and help nonprofits, existing nonprofits that are doing amazing, beautiful, hard work. Everything from like animal rescue. If you know anybody who rescues animals, they're all like constantly up all night. Pretty much any nonprofit.
Yeah, no, but it's true. Animal people are very special breed.
Yeah.
I am one. I've been an animal lover, rescuer, helped, blah, blah, blah. And currently even doing that. Actually, sidebar, it was funny because Joe and I were, Joe, who will be mentioned later, on Mission Resolve, he's like, no, I want to showcase all the dogs we're rescuing in Alaska with a plane. And I'm embarrassed to say how much money it costs because you're flying a jet, but he's like, no, these animals need to be saved. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm a huge animal lover, and certain people just, we love our animals,
Yeah.
and so when you see people doing good things, they want to donate or share or help. Anyway,
Yeah.
with that said, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and I was invited to be a part of a social impact entrepreneur kind of trip around Asia and different parts of the world, where I encountered a lot of incredible people and organizations that are just like saving the planet in their own communities, but they don't have any money, they don't have any access to like the world that we do or like any real understanding of how to market themselves or use social media, and they're already swamped beyond belief just like helping people survive literally. And I saw that as like, whoa, I have a huge responsibility now. I've helped all these other people monetize their careers and like companies sell all this stuff. Like these are the people that really deserve it. So put together a plan to do these trips where I would take influencers to those countries to meet those people and see their organizations, volunteer with them on the ground, actually get their hands dirty, like doing the real work, and then use their platforms to highlight it, educate their viewers on like what's really important in life, and then raise some money for them. So I called it Gaia House.
No way.
And we did a trip, and Vic was our visual everything, and his lovely kids, and Jalen as well, who's not here, but shout out. And we did a whole like thing with what was like 18 terabytes worth of footage, and then
Got
people
to show that at Sundance.
Yeah.
Those who are watching.
Yeah, we
that's
got then we were given a Next Gen Impact Award at the World Logic Day, which is a United Nations and UNESCO event in Austin, Texas, which was really amazing. And I got to be like a keynote speaker, and then also again at Sundance Film Festival, and some other, I don't even remember, it was cool. And people really resonated with it, like the creators who came on the trip. Oh, yes.
Look at that. There it is.
There it is.
See that?
That was the Dominican Republic, our first trip.
Yeah. First church. Yeah, we went to the DR. That was an amazing trip. It really was. It was some good stuff.
Yeah.
Some good stuff.
Yeah, and it's like people don't. Pretty much everybody's comment was like, "Oh, wow, we haven't experienced this before, like an opportunity to use our platforms in this way before ever," and it was so just refreshing. That was kind of like the consensus that everybody felt, and I was like, "Awesome!" And the nonprofits were like, "Whoa, this is awesome! Like, thank you so much."
So Gaia House, there's the God, it was funny. It happened right here. Hey, what are you doing? What do you mean? What are we doing? This is a little less than a year ago.
Yeah.
December last year, right?
Mhm.
So now we just November. So 11 months ago.
Yeah, and then so my whole kind of drive and energy got directed towards impact, like social impact based projects, and it was just like this feels right. This feels like I'm actually doing something that means something and it's helping people. So yeah, has its own challenges, of course, because it's nonprofit work. It's not all about making money, and it's trying to get a bunch of people in the entertainment industry to commit their time and energy and stuff to, and I'm very grateful that they did, but there was a lot of people who had previously committed to doing it who then didn't for end up following through. One person even asked me, "What's in it for me?" When I called, and this was someone I knew for a really long time.
And you did a lot for these
people. Yeah. And I was just like,
and that was me. No, I'm just kidding.
And I was just like, we're going to volunteer with orphanages and schools and animal rescues and stuff in the beautiful foreign country. And I mean, what's in it for you? Honestly, well, you're going to get a bunch of free content with a bunch of other creators who have more numbers than you. So you're probably going to grow. Your audience will probably think you're a better person than you are now because you're doing something for the planet and the environment. But let's leave all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like people just sometimes don't get it. Whatever.
Transactional.
It's all good.
Yeah.
And
however, at this one, I saw one of some of the influencers. Everybody behind Max's back was saying, "Wow, this is." They felt it. It was impactful. And you sent a girl to college. Like you made an impact. You did some stuff.
Yeah.
And then you went to Sundance.
Yeah.
And you played a video, and I'm not gonna. Luke shot it, and we'll put a link to the video below.
Absolutely.
Link that. Anyway, go ahead.
And then,
I'm sorry.
Okay, so then fast forward a little bit. I was back in Hawaii. I was kind of bouncing around all over the world. I got addicted to traveling. I just love learning about new cultures and stuff. So, but then I was like, okay, I kind of want to go see my mom and my friends and stuff. So I went back to Hawaii. I was living there for a couple months, and then we started planning the next Gaia House trip, which was going to be in Hawaii. We're going to do a whole thing about like ocean conservation, beach cleanup, plastic, ending single-use plastic, coming up with new alternatives for that, sustainable fashion to combat like the fast fashion industry messing up the ocean. Like it's a whole really cool program. And yeah, had a bunch of amazing people working on it. Shout out to Jen. Shout out to everybody back in Hawaii. And then the fires happened. So if right before we were about to do it. So if you guys are familiar with the fires that happened in Maui, and that just shook me up so big. It was such a it just hurt, just hurt my heart so much seeing all that. And so
coming from LA and seeing leaving Hawaii.
Yeah.
Coming to LA, seeing what that was like, and then going and doing some very hands-on, which we did in DR and that, and then the fires, and then going back, you're not the same person going back.
No. Yeah, and then this stuff I experienced, in Maui during that initial first week was just really heavy is the word. And just doing crisis relief, basically just volunteering, just bringing whatever people needed, food, water, diapers, a hug, listening to how someone watched their dog burn to death from their car as they were driving away and almost died themselves. Like just really terrible stuff, but the community you know, Hawaiian community is really, really strong and really resilient and really heart, like just like the biggest hearts in the world, you know. And so it was so amazing to just see out of that what the beauty of like people coming together and just letting strangers come sleep on their floor. And so I was volunteering, then I got connected to a group of like kind of like a shelter that was set up, like 87 people like sheltering this one property.
Wow.
And
87 people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
It's a lot of people in one little.
yeah. And, you know, not to name any names, but big organizations that are supposed to be responsible for providing relief in these situations, we're not doing the job we thought as locals should be done. And that's you know, I'm sure everyone has seen all this stuff on social media, so I don't even have to go. And there's all kinds of theories about all kinds of things, and whatever the case is, the point is, all I cared about was, I don't want to debate about politics or whatever. It's just the fact is, I'm here, I'm seeing these people suffering, they're not getting any help.
And the worst part here, and I'll say something because I can say it. The worst part is, I'm looking at you at the age you're at, and I'm looking at me, and what a lot of people, I don't share it that often, but 9/11, I was front row center. You can't get any more front row center than I was. I literally was between the buildings when they collapsed. I ran for my life. There's just every September 11th, I have buddies, we text, and I actually just signed. It really kills me because I'm still on the World Health Organization database, and I get the letters. And a friend of mine, a few people I've had to certify and sign saying yes, they were there. Let's just say, hopefully, knock on wood, I think this table, I'm okay right now. But the moral of the story is a lot of stuff still going on. That was that long ago.
I know what you were alluding to right now.
Yeah, that long ago that this giant global organization, people were donating and all this sort of stuff. I lost my company, lost all sorts of stuff, and everybody's like, I'm going to donate. And what's ironic is when you were telling me the story earlier, and my jaw was just like, it dropped because I'm like, I've lived through exactly what you just lived through with this same global organization that says, donate to us, raise millions of dollars for whether it was 9/11, for whatever global tragedy. And I'm not saying they don't do good, don't get me wrong, but there's so much infrastructure and management and all that goes at the top where it's like the fire's burning right now and they're all like, yeah, there's a fire burning like in their mind, sure, we'll get to it. And it's like, let us grab all the assets. Let us and when you told me that, and my heart bled for you because I'm like, I've literally been on the other side of it as somebody who is like, I just went through 9/11, I lost anyway. But so why don't you share without mentioning that giant, company that has a color in their name? Why don't you mention kind of what you just witnessed?
Yeah, and boots on the ground people in those organizations are great. They're volunteers. They don't know what's going on in the top levels of things, but it is what it is. But
right, the intention's there.
Yeah.
It's just as it goes up the food chain, it becomes, like we said, it's about money. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, and so I saw that and I was like, wow, the money's not going to the people. I'm gonna do something. So I posted a video. Couple, great friends of mine and our team built a really cool crowdfunding platform that doesn't take any fees, and I posted a video, got like 2 million views, and then people started donating. Who's it like? I forgot who it was. A bunch of like great people reposted and started posting on their accounts, and like we just got so much support and raised some great money and posted a bunch of videos giving it away and just helping people out, and we're still doing that now. And so that kind of led to what you see on the screen, which is that's the shelter, one of the shelters where a bunch of people were saying, and that these are some of the kids who's barely survived the fires. Like this family, what it's moving really fast. But some of those kids, part of the same family, they were all like trying to escape, and there was no reception, so nobody could find anybody. They were all with the mom and the dad, who's right there in the hat. He was on a second ago.
That's moved quick.
Yeah. So him and his siblings were all like in a car with the mom. The car stopped working because there was no oxygen left in the air for the engine to combust, and so it just stopped. And they thought they were gonna die. They were pretty much like holding each other, like we're gonna die. And miracles, man. The dad drove up in their van and or car, whatever, truck or something, and happened to see them. Couldn't reach them for all this time, was looking for them, but miraculously, saw them, and they jumped in and they barreled their way through and got out somehow. So these kids have seen some crazy stuff, and we're not processing grief in the same way that their parents were. The parents were like talking about it a lot and crying and hugging each other and reliving it. And the kids didn't really want to talk about it. They would just kind of like make jokes here and there. It's like, wow, like they're so strong that they're able to. One of them was like making jokes about, oh, I want to post on my TikTok, but my phone is crispy now. So, and then I remember one of them, I got them back into their TikTok account because they had no phone anymore, and you have to have a code sent to you. And so we figured it out and everything, and they were so happy. It's like little things like that. And so I saw that and I was like, okay, they need an outlet. And for me growing up, art and music has always been my outlet, where when I feel like I can't talk to anybody about how I feel because they're not going to understand, I'm going to paint or draw. I'm going to write a song. And that's what's going to make me feel okay. So I started doing some music stuff with some of them, but has a bit of a learning curve to really fully feel like you're expressing yourself. So I went to art supply store because anyone can make art. I brought a bunch of canvases and art, just put it on the table. I didn't say anything. And they just went crazy and made amazing pieces. And this is one of them right here. And there's another one right there. And there's some other ones. And so just looking at their art, I saw like, wow, this story needs to be told. Their message needs to be spread. And also at the same time, coming from a viral marketing perspective, I also was aware that in the rest of the world had moved on and forgotten about what happened pretty much. Because there's always a new...
There's another, like right
always
now, I mean, look what's
always
going on in Israel and all the different, yeah.
And so I didn't want the world to forget. And this art was like an opportunity to spread this message in a way that isn't so dark, and it's transmutation of something painful that they created into beauty and hope, because the whole town is gone. It's completely leveled, just all gone. It's ash, but the people are alive, and their heart is alive, and their spirit. And that to me, this art means so much to me because it represents like survival and thriving in the most desperate of times. These kids that painted this had no idea where they were going to live or anything at all, like anything about their future. Everything they'd ever known for like 7 generations back was just taken away in a day, and yeah, so anyway, I took some pictures of the art, and I just had an idea, like I want to turn this into clothing. And I put it on some like digital renderings of like t-shirts and hoodies and stuff. And I made an e-com. I stayed up all night. I was like, this is going to be so cool. I know it. I just had faith. I had no idea like if anyone was going to care or buy it or whatever. It's like, I'm going to I feel it.
Totally believe this.
I stayed up probably 2 nights in a row and just like made an e-com site, lahinahands.com, if you want to go check it out.
Oh yes. One more time, Max. Right there. lahinahands.com. We will be putting a link into this. Yes.
And a friend from New York, powerful friend, saw it and was like, if you can get your ass to New York in 2 days, I will make you and this brand the headlining brand for this show in New York Fashion Week. It's like really big show in New York Fashion Week. And I was like, oh shit. Hell yeah. Meanwhile, I didn't have any clothes yet. it was all just digital
Right. Yeah,
pictures.
you just had some you had finger paint.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's pictures of. So I hopped on a plane that day. I booked a flight and in a few hours went to the airport from Hawaii to LA. And shout out to so many people that made this happen. Were able to create. Shout out to Glenn, Sonny, Caesar, Money, like everybody in LA who helped to turn this into reality in 6 hours. Literally went to this manufacturing company, and they have, they literally from nothing, no clothing at all. While I was on the plane, they were dyeing the hoodies. Like they were all just blank, right? They were treating them and dyeing them to the color specifications that I made. I learned a lot. I learned about Pantones and all this other stuff.
Pantone color wheel.
Yeah, I had to
Yeah.
subscribe to PantoneWhatever.com and fucking $50 a month just to fucking choose what color you're gonna make your fucking. Oh, it's so annoying. They're making a killing off
Yeah,
of
they
that
are.
shit. Ridiculous.
They own the colors.
Anyway,
Okay.
anyway,
But this feels really good.
yeah, it's really well
It
made.
really is.
Very,
I
very
was
well
going to
made.
tease you, like, it's the best polyester. No. This is actually, it's very comfortable.
100% cotton, French terry, very well made.
Yeah, no, these are
garments.
actually really quality.
Yeah. Shout out to Vertical Authority for making this happen. And then by the time I landed, they were all dyed. And then we went next door to the place where they do the printing. And the lady kind of freaked out. And she's like, when do you need these again? I was like, well, my next flight, I just landed. My flight is at 9 p.m. So like, to get there on time, like 4 hours. She's like, oh my God. And shout out to her. And it just pulled it off like crazy. I mean, all these pieces.
So
it was
you've
like
already rocked
40
the
pieces
fashion
that-
show.
40
NYC
yeah.
fashion show.
Yeah.
You've already rocked
got on
it.
a put them in a bag, stuffed it in a suitcase, ran to the airport, barely made my flight, arrived in New York, and got to this event like right before it started, and like a couple model friends came to support, but the rest of them were all like I had never met them before. They were all just like models that were doing other brands, and they were like volunteered at the very last second. They were like, oh yeah, we heard about you for sure. Well, how do you want us to walk? How do you want us to pose? And I'm in my mind, I'm like, fuck if I know. And they're
You're like,
talking to me like I'm
I
some
was just
big
in
designer.
Hawaii feeding people.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
or
yeah.
before that, I was helping last Instagram, TikToker help with a music thing. Welcome
Yeah.
to the world of fashion.
Yeah, I got thrown right into the deep end real quick, and
Yeah, exactly. Right, as
that's
we
another
see.
show in Camden on a really big battleship in New Jersey. Shout outs to Wawa and
Oh, Wawa. I'm a Jersey boy, that,
shout outs
so you say.
to Global Boarding and Rob
He's
and
very-
Angelica Morrow for making that happen. So anyway, back to New York. So, and shout outs to Dallas for making New York happen. So we were in New York doing Fashion Week, and then another brand or another show was like, you come to our gallery and do a show as well, and you can talk about your thing, and like there's gonna be a bunch of people. I was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. So just things kept falling into place and opening up, and then lovely friend has become a great friend, Angelica, who was a DJ at the first fashion event, lives in the Hamptons, and was like, you got to come to the Hamptons. That's where like big money's at, and like people really care about impact and giving back, and like just come, like we'll set it up, like we'll make sure you have shows.
What did you say about the Hamptons?
The Hamptons is where they manufacture these creatures. For sure. 100%.
All right. Yeah, that's
So
all right.
funny.
Yeah.
It's like, I met a bunch of like versions of your
That's the font.
Yes.
We're stamped out of that.
Yeah.
That's our model. I know.
So funny.
Sometimes we're trending, sometimes we're not. I don't know where I stand in society anymore. Like, we love you, we hate you. I don't know. Like, but that you got to the factory.
Yeah.
Welcome to our factory. Yeah, that's
really,
where-
I get it.
but when you got up there, open arms, right?
Yeah.
It's not what you think.
Oh, it's like
There's
it's like Hawaii in a sense. It's a really strong community of like
with
chill people who just care. Yeah.
well, good. No, when
Yeah.
you said that, I died laughing because I've known you for many years, and
Yeah.
I left that. I escaped that area.
I get it.
Came to Miami.
They call it the bubble of bubbles.
Yeah.
All the like presidents and like old Hollywood celebs go there to escape the rest of the world.
Well, the messed up. You need to, we
Yeah,
you know,
a little bit.
yeah, you kind of like, well, you guys will figure it out. It's that I'll have my cocktail. You'll eventually get there. We all go through it, and then you come back and you go, and that's what the world's going through right now. So yeah, but like you said, you find people who are like, hey, you're an amazing human being.
Yeah.
And you're, like you said, I mean, you came from Hawaii, you went to LA, you escaped LA, you got back, circuitously got back to Hawaii to do incredible things. And then now you wind up there, and now look at what you're doing. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this. And
So cool.
So then give us, okay, because we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, yeah.
We've gone on, but give me where, I know, we're going to, don't worry. He's a local. We're getting more of him eventually. There'll be more on the music side and that. But tell me what it means, what I'm wearing to you, and what people can do.
Yeah. So this is a way to continue the legacy of Lahaina. That's why I created. This is created by a family that's lived in Lahaina for 7 generations. So they are Lahaina. And so all the money we raise, like there's cost to making these. So obviously some of the money gets invested back into creating more of it. But other than that, the profits go to those people and more people as well in Lahaina, not just that family, but like some of it goes to, there's a lot of water issues right now. There's that's always the case after natural disasters or like whatever disasters.
I don't know if you know this. So Joe called me. Everybody's like, who's Joe? No, we'll never mention Joe's last name. No, but anyway, so Joe called me. He says, "Hey, Max and I were talking." I'm like, and he's like, "I'm gonna, do the donation." Yeah. For those that don't know, we're involved with a very big charity called Mission Resolve. And Joe called me up and he goes, "Hey, I'm gonna put 7 figures into Bahamas right after the hurricane, because when that hurricane came through, wiped everybody out. I was the first one in the helicopter flying over before the Coast Guard could get in. I was actually scouting. For all those that don't know, like I still film and I do all this sort of stuff. So I'm in the helicopter ahead of the Coast Guard and all that, checking the ports, making sure that they can get through, because you don't want to have a giant ship coming through and grounding, and then it blocks the port, and then nobody's getting through, and all this relief aid, blah, 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 blah. So long story short, I'm taking all the video and pictures and blah, blah. Actually, I think there's, I don't know if we'll Google them or whatever, put a link below. But moral to the story is, the next thing is water. They were bringing in, and Joe's like, look, I need to put 7 figures from Mission Resolve into this. And the organization we were talking about earlier, finally they came around. Like, you know what I mean? But like, these people needed it way early on. Yeah. So thank God for people like you, my buddies Joe. There are people out there that are doing great things to help the world and people. And it's funny you mentioned water, because it just immediately gave me that flashback of being in a helicopter, filming stuff, and seeing people and things, just what the news is reporting on versus reality. And and so if you don't get that water in there, we can manage. I can manage many more days without food, but you need what, and okay, water and alcohol, but other than I can wait on the food, but I jest, but trying to make light of it. But the reality is, thank you for doing that, because you're right. If you don't get the water in there, it's over. It's over.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the project we're looking into trying to solve. So there's a really cool guy named Mario who's been bringing in water to those communities from other parts of Maui. So West Maui's water is, if you think about, all those houses were historic homes. So they were old, had asbestos, lead, paint, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
Burned into the ground, into the soil.
Wow.
And into the air. Oh. And so, I was walking around without a mask for a while, and then I got one, but
and I know you. That's
and
welcome to the family.
And there was just so Mario, who's been really like in the water space in that volunteer group, kind of posted a video that went viral where he was talking about there's benzene in the water. He says in the video, he's like, I probably have leukemia because I've been drinking the water and showering and everything. And so I was like, I need to talk to this guy. And this was when I was already in New York doing this stuff when that video blew up. So
The
one about the water. And
Yeah.
so hit up one of my friends who's been volunteering with him. Said, hey, can I talk to him? And we, got on a FaceTime and recorded it. And he told the whole story, basically like a couple dogs, well, more than a couple, but that day,
Yeah, I saw that on social media.
2 dogs died just from drinking the tap water. And after drinking the tap water for like 2 weeks. And they were like little dogs. And he was saying like, it usually shows up in small animals first because their bodies are smaller. And
Right, processed. Yep.
And-
Canary in coal mine. That's where that expression comes from.
And he's like, that's an indication of what we're drinking and showering with. So that's why I'm working so hard to bring this water back and forth and stuff. And so I asked, is there anything I can do to help? And he's said, we're trying to get these water buffalo containers, like these 400-gallon big things that you fill up with water and then you bring back, and then people can come and refill. And so we used some of the money and bought a few of those. And that was really cool. Shout out to our donors. And then, but that's not really a long-term solution. That's a temporary solution. So there's these atmospheric water filters that pull in moisture from the air and create drinkable, filtered, clean water. And they're like really expensive, like $70K for one of them, which produces like 500 gallons of water per day. But to fully like get West Maui enough water, it's like 12 of those things. So about $700,000, $800,000 to really fund that project. So that's one possible. There's so many things like that need support and help that are not really being addressed because whoever is in charge of different things don't want to say that publicly, that the water is messed up.
Right.
And that there's other issues that are not being talked about.
Well, if you think about it, how many people have donated and given so much money, and you're asking for, call it $1 million? Like,
yeah,
I'm not. I
know.
mean, I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's $5, but it's $1 million. It's
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
in the big picture.
Yep.
Because the people donate a lot more than that, and you can't get them their water, and that's where, you know what. So without me because I'll go on, I'll go on a whole tear here. What's next steps for you? Well, tell everybody while we're all talking about this, because I want to wrap this up because we can do many more and we will. What do you need today? What are we? We see where you're going with this. How do people help?
Yeah.
What and help you and make this happen?
Buy the clothes. We're trying to. Obviously, it takes money to make stuff, to manufacture stuff. And there's some stores that have shown a lot of interest in like putting our stuff in there.
Yeah, but
their
showing
stores.
interest, you got to buy a bunch of clothes. You
Right.
have to have some big money to buy the
Exactly.
stuff to get it in the store,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
people can then buy it.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of stores that are like, give it to us and we'll sell it. And I'm like, okay, but
I got you.
costs
Yeah.
like a couple $100,000 to produce the amount that
Right.
they want. So that's my next kind of project.
Because you've already got the influencers, I'm sure.
Oh my God. That's the other part of it. Yeah. Aside from stores that want to sell our stuff, like all my influencer friends are like,
But you need to buy it.
yeah, we need to buy a lot of inventory in order to sell it. So we're set up on a pre-order model. So if you go to the site, like we can get
pre-order.
stuff to you
Yeah, that's the way to write.
in a couple
Get the
weeks.
money in and then build the product. And yeah.
But that's our kind of next goal. And it's a way of
Showing support.
long-term sewing support, keeping it in people's hearts and funding like livelihood for people that need it right now, to rebuild. And so amazing artist William Quigley, he's legendary, in collaboration with Nigel Barker, have created these amazing works of art. It's a collection, and Quigley's art goes for like 50 to 100K per piece on average. And now he's collaborated with Nigel Barker, who's like a huge photographer that started like America's Next Top Model. So they collaborated on a really cool collection that they want to donate to Maui Relief. So that's kind of part of why I'm here is to like scout some locations for Art Basel to hold an event. So if anyone knows or is coming to Art Basel, come to our show, buy some art. I will be selling clothes as well.
I'll make sure we push this podcast ahead of the next one so we can get this out there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because we're in November. If I get this up in we got to, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you want to support, if you don't want to buy clothing and you want to just donate, our donation link directly is in the
Link below.
the
Yeah,
link
we'll
as
throw
well
that on, yeah.
onlinehands.com, or you'll link it.
Yeah, I'll link it.
And even $1, whatever, 50 cents, whatever, everything.
Everything matters.
Everything
People
helps.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, buddy. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
No, this is great. And how's music in it? I know you got to
Yeah.
weave your
Oh,
music
man.
into this.
Yeah. So, I went on a journey of like losing myself and finding myself again as an artist, especially. And
It's gonna happen more than once.
oh yeah, I'm sure.
I know you will.
For sure. But I have a lot of I have like 500 something unreleased songs at this point. Last time I talked to you was
More
like
than that.
400. Yeah,
I
probably.
think I
more.
got on the hard drive in the,
Oh,
in the
yeah.
recording room. There's probably anyway.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now I'm at a place where I know that it's important to get my art out there. It's not just about look at me and clap for me and praise me and stuff, but I've actually seen the effect that it has on people because I've performed at all these things too. And people like cry and they're like, this like gives me hope, and like your lyrics actually like the world needs to hear this music. I've heard that so many different times. So, I'm viewing it as a responsibility, because before, when it was just about like, I want to be that,
Mhm.
famous person, that wasn't really enough motivation for me to care enough to do it, because that's never been really who I am. I really, but if it's going to do something impactful for the world, it's going to like change shit, because like I don't like the way that the people who are running things are doing things. I never have. Like the people who are like directing the narrative and setting the trends, it's like fucking annoying. So I gotta do it so that I can make my voice heard as well. So coming soon, music coming soon.
Super excited about that. No, yeah, and it's funny because with what you just said and changing the world, it's important. There's I don't want to get canceled. I'm not going to get you guys canceled, but I'm going to say it's very interesting. Yeah, no, it's you got to be careful what you say. But the reality is, the more we educate ourselves about what's going on around the world, and the problem is social media has a way of taking something that's 500 pages and making it one sentence. And if you don't have the context to those 500 pages, and whether it's the current war that's going on, and you need your generation. God, what did I actually just say that out loud? Wow, that I feel old. But no, the generation, you need to understand where things are coming from, where it's at, and I think the more we become less concerned about the post and my likes and all that, and just be real and just say, hey, this is what's going on, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what people are going to connect with, and they're going to, like I said, with where we started all, it's just looking for that genuine humanity amongst all of us, and whether it's the love, whether it's there's this loneliness, there's this all this going on, and I'm like, it shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be there. We're highly connected but completely separate.
Yeah.
And that is just so when you do this, I'm so happy, proud, and be as a friend of yours to see you being so connected. You know what I mean? Not socially, but connected into it. Literally, they're feeding, helping people, being the show, doing this, and connecting with the music and all that. So it's been it's a blessing to know you, and I'm so excited with my guy on my right here to see where he's going, because he has the same heart as you do. You guys got hearts of lions. So
Hey.
yeah, it's been it's a great podcast, guys.
Yeah.
But at least I enjoy it. Like I said, I don't know if one person's going to follow it or not. Again,
10
I'm not doing
million.
it for anybody other than
10 mil.
10 mil. He's shaving his head.
Yeah.
Blue.
If this gets 10 mil, I will shave my head. I'll do a buzz cut and dye it blue to match his beard.
I don't think it needs to be 10. Do you think 10? I think a mil.
If it gets 10 million, I'll
10
shave
10.
my head too.
Let's go.
If it gets a million, 10
Yeah.
likes. 10 likes. I think Luke
I
said.
don't think I'm gonna do it.
And for 10 likes, I'll be calling up 10 people. Actually, if I called 10, then I'd have to call like 100 to get 10 likes. They'd be like, what click?
Lead generation.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna need Max to promote it. hire
actually.
you to promote it so it gets. That's the whole. I don't know how that just happened.
Let's do it. Let's do collab
Let's
posts
see
and all that. I
if
got
we
you.
can. Wouldn't that be? We should see if we can get this. Oh, that'd
Yeah.
be fun.
That's cool.
There's a social experiment.
We're gonna shave our heads.
Exactly. I'm not growing mine. It's a very bad look. I'm doing that as a courtesy to everybody watching. You don't want to see that. It's been.
But you showed me a picture of you when you had hair. And it was
It made it
awesome.
on one of the podcasts. Oh no, it didn't. It was a podcast that went for 3.5 hours
wow.
and a lot of drinks,
I was gonna say.
so it got scrapped. This is the second longest. Yeah, that was the longest. Yeah, this is we've been. Yeah.
Oh, the guy from Universal.
Oh my God! And
He
then
was
my
funny.
headshots came out. Oh, it's the best podcast ever. Nobody's gonna watch 3.5 hours. We started drinking.
Yeah.
It was really fun. Actually, it would like every other thing would be believed. So anyway, all right, we got to wrap this shit up. All right, guys.
That's cool.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having
Guys,
me.
You know,
Really cool.
I love you.
I love you too,
Anyway,
man.
and by the way, this has been this, and that's why I'm doing this. If you
Yeah,
guys
that's
can't
really
tell,
cool.
this is unfiltered. There's no filters going on here. So thank you so much. If you made it, even I can't say if you made it halfway through. I should have done that. If you made it to this, you're a
trooper.
You are beyond a trooper. I owe you a drink. And if you made it to this, you need to put in the comments.
I made it.
No, that's too easy. Let's you need to because I'm thinking I got to give Paloma something. I subscribed. What did you call this? Come on, say it.
Kaigen whiskey, ne?
There you go.
Japanese whiskey.
You don't have to type all that. You just type Kaigen. Type Kaigen in the comments, and I'm gonna buy one of these
Hey.
as a donation, and I'm gonna send it. So there it is. So we're gonna be donating some of these. I hope, God, if this gets millions of views, I'm gonna be. I will eventually cut it off. You're gonna get a message.
For every view this gets, he's buying one hoodie.
My point exactly. That ain't having it. All right. So that being said, we will figure something out. But yeah, you'll get him and then you'll post it. Dres,
Cheers.
Max, to all the great you guys are doing and spreading the art, and to you guys for watching this.
Yeah, thanks,
and
guys.
comment, please. Comment, because and share and let us know what you want. It's just this is such a pleasure to me to be able to be doing this. So, guys, and that is
Wait, can you queue up the censor button real quick? Are you ready?
Oh no.
Yeah. You watching Chaos Made, mother.
Holy crap!
I wanted to do that so
That
bad.
was on so point. He actually, wow,
That was actually connection.
shit
I wanted
was
to do
on
that so
point.
bad.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Did it so good.
Thank you.
Wow. See,
I think you should do it again. Give us another one.
one more. Drop it.
You watching? Oh, I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna surprise you this time. You gotta be ready for it. All right, you ready? You mother watching Chaos mother made mother.
Wow. Wow. You did well.
I pulled out
and
my
he pulled his headphones. Listen, I told you this goes off the rails here sometimes. I
always wanted
don't
a
know who
beep.
I'm more impressed with. I think I'm sorry, it's Lou. He literally was on that
you
button.
Yeah, that was
found
good.
it.
Yeah.
Can you
Sounded-
like
yeah.
just
didn't-
follow me around for the rest of my life with that, and just anytime I'm about
Oh no,
gonna
I
swear,
needed that.
just like,
No, I need that. 'Cause
That's true.
That's just yeah. When I'm talking, he's just like, yeah, it's my daddy's thing. He's gonna. It's not when. It's not if. It's when I'm getting canceled. It's not it. It's just period. I'm like, like we were talking earlier.
enough.
This is. It's just a matter of time. It's trending. It's trending. I don't. Right, and that is why I will never win. All right, and that is it. All right, guys, we love you all. Thank you so much.
Oh.
Oh.